Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Points. We are happy to be back after our spring break while we allowed the hardest working woman in show business to enjoy her birthday. By the way, we're going to start off with a happy belated birthday to the first lady of the Extra Point, Tasha T Sizzle. Happy birthday, my young child.
Thank you,
Now,
thank
real
you.
quick, how was your birthday? You old enough to drink now, so did you go and partake a sip or two? How was your birthday?
Well, to be honest, everyone knows I'm really not a big drinker anymore, but your girl had a couple of drinks. Y'all know I don't drink beer. The one thing I've never drank in life was beer.
We can
But
look at your body and tell, but keep going.
but Presidente, which is the Dominican beer, they have kind of like a hard seltzer, and it's 3.5% alcohol by volume.
Oh, okay, all
But
right.
the can is this big. And y'all, when I say I've been turning up on them, the chinola flavor, your girl is addicted. And it actually tastes like beer, which is something that is strange to me because I do not like beer.
Well, so
But
you stepped outside your comfort zone for your birthday. That's good.
yes, I went to dinner with a couple of friends. Me and hubby went to eat fish at a fish market about 2 or 3 towns over. But yes, we just had a good time. The dogs were on their best behavior.
Shouts out.
My job down here bought me a cake.
Nice.
Everything.
And I saw on social media you was getting shown love on several platforms, so it was
Yes,
glad to see you get your flowers.
people were sending me photos and tagging me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I was really not expecting this. This is the cake from work that they gave me.
Awesome. All right. Look, you had your sunglasses on. It was a long night before that,
Well, well, now because since I got these new glasses, I think I'm better than everybody else because they shrink.
huh? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to be back. I was glad and relieved that Tasha took a week off because she shows up rain, sleet, snow, internet, no internet, Wi-Fi, VPN, UPN, CW, BET. She's always on point. So it did my heart good to give her a well-deserved weekend of pampering to herself. Glad she had a great birthday, but I'm glad to be back because Tasha, they've been cutting up since we've been gone. The sports world will turn on its head since we last talked to the peeps. But before we get into this, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor.
Ooh, it's my
Yeah,
cue.
it's you.
We're sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. Again, guys, we're doing a little restructuring. So just make sure you go to the website so you can get all that updated information. And again, she is on Instagram, putting content up every now and then because she has another job. So she does put a little content on there, and that is May Jane's Coffee on IG. And put the .com on the end and go on the website and see everything you need to know.
Boom, just like that. I'm loving the way she's doing these reads now. I'm loving that. All right, so while you get your swig on, let me catch the peeps up because this last week was a wild and wacky week in the world of women's college basketball. Yes, I practiced that in the mirror before the show. I'm glad I didn't stumble that. But the women's game was front and center for all the right and the wrong reasons. Now, we know that you all know the story, but for those who were sitting out warrants all week and just got out this morning, I'm going to give you a 60-second recap before we turn it over to T Sizzle. So, LSU last Sunday beat the award-winning Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Buckeyes in the national championship game in the women's Final Four. All right, news broke, and then people lost their minds when one Bayou Barbie, Miss Angel Reese, started doing the "you can't see me" to Caitlin Clark and showing that she's getting the ring and basically following her around the arena, taunting her at the end. By the time the final whistle blew, there was a large contingent of people on social media that had a serious problem with one Angel Reese. Now, us, BT, I'm going to call us, Black Tweezy, we couldn't let our sister go out like this. So we jumped in the ring, and there was an all-out war on social media for 2 days on whether she was classless, whether she was a poor sportsmanship. I mean, there was so many layers to this argument all week. Then by Wednesday, things had simmered down until the First Lady, Dr. Biden, said that she wanted to invite both teams to the White House, which drew the ire of everyone involved because that not only is that unprecedented, it did have so many layers of racial undertones because of the few days preceding that announcement. Now her secretary walked that back, and now I think we're at the point to where LSU has decided to go to the White House, and Angel Reese, after first saying that she was going to go see the Obamas, Barack was like, "Don't put me in this shit."
Right. He's like, how did I get into this? There, y'all.
Right, he's just living his life.
I ain't even said nothing.
Right. So now she's turned about face, and there will be no invitation for Iowa, and LSU has accepted. All right, Tasha, what do you make of all of this? This is the first time getting your thoughts on this situation.
Okay, like I said, I know this has been talked about for a whole week.
But not by you.
Well, yeah, because I never really said anything. I understood why Angel did, what she did. I understand the team's stance and some of the other players' stance on certain things after the game. Because, again, Black women are the most disrespected
and
unprotected out of all. So, in my words, as I was watching it and looking at it, I was like, go and pop your shit, sis. Pop your shit.
In real time, I was like, hey, we come from the Fab Five era, like where we get in your face, we're gonna talk crazy to you, and I didn't see any malice in that in real time as well. Go ahead.
Right. So it was more like of a, kind of like a, a pop your shit type thing. But what I took to was when it kept going. It kept going. Now, I know Kim Mulkey leans a certain way because also Jill Biden wanted to come into the locker room after the game, and they were kind of like, no.
Right.
Now,
not her cup of tea.
Now, I don't know if that had to do anything with the players or whichever way Kim Mulkey leaned. That's neither here nor there. But even though a lot of us did not like Donald Trump, we didn't like anything he stood for. We didn't really care for Melania because she was quiet. She didn't say shit. She didn't do shit.
And it was guilt by association.
Right. It's just a certain point that even if you feel a certain way, sometimes you got to keep your mouth closed.
Right.
And I thought it started getting a little disrespectful towards Jill Biden.
Okay. Now let me set the stage for this, because at the time that the news broke that Jill Biden had announced that she would like to have both teams at the White House, Tasha said, hey, I have a take on this that many people are not saying, and I told her to save it. So let me grab my popcorn, because I've been waiting a week for this. So go ahead with your stance.
I don't necessarily think that Flotus was being racist when she invited the other team. I seriously think that she felt like in the realm of competition, she looked at what Iowa had done up until that point, saw the game was a decent game. It wasn't a close game. Was they got beat. They got their ass beat.
Handsput.on.com.
Right. So I don't necessarily think she was coming at that in a racist way, which is where everyone is going with that. I don't think that was why she wanted to have them there. Oh, we got to get the white girls here too.
And that was the narrative. That was the narrative.
Right, and that was the narrative that was out there. And the narrative, basically, what people, if you don't understand really what a narrative is, that's when you tell a story to make it favor what you want it to favor.
Right.
That's what the narrative is. And I don't think that was, I'm not going to say her, I don't think that was her agenda. I really think when she said that, she was coming from a place of good.
Let me back you up on this, because the one part that's continuously left out of the story was the fact that Joe Biden attended the game. The game drew record numbers. If you watch the game, the atmosphere was bananas inside of the AAC in downtown Dallas. And she was speaking in terms of Title IX and how far the women have come along in sports. So with that as the backdrop, you can see where she may have wanted both schools to be there, because they put on a performance. They moved the women's basketball Final Four ahead of the men's. It was more popular. It was more talked about. It was more viewed. And I think she got caught up in the moment and said, hey, I'd like to have all of them. Like your mama want to have all the kids home for the holiday. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it. Now, was it effed up? Yeah, because you don't, like Mike said, shouts out to Michigan Mike, our brother at work today.
Mike.
this is the participation trophy era. Everybody don't get no trophy. As Mike said, it ain't no, the runner-up does not get to attend the White House.
Now, Denise, our sponsor, checks in and says, no, she wasn't being racist, but the second runner-up of whatever it's not number one, and they have never been invited to the White House, so I don't know why she would have thought it was okay. To that, you say what, Mom?
That's basically what I just said.
Right.
See, come on.
Was this more a Freudian slip than racism?
No, I don't even think it was a Freudian slip. I really think that she was trying to do it sent the invitation in the realm of sisterhood.
Right. Let me get all these women up here and show how far the women's game has come.
And then, like, you know, with her press secretary, and I even commented on the shade room, I was like, yeah, but that ain't what she said.
I saw that. I saw that.
I don't care what she meant. That ain't what she said.
That ain't what she said.
And I really don't think that should have been extended to them.
Let me ask you this question, Tasha. Let's just get right to it, because when we in the booth, we don't always tell the truth. Was it poor sportsmanship on the part of the Bayou Barbie, Ms. Reese?
I'm not going to necessarily say it was poor sportsmanship. I just think it was a little overdone. Of course, I'm here for it.
Because she followed her.
Yeah. I just think, like, yeah, you could have did you can't see me. And then, like, you didn't have to follow her doing this. All you have to do is hold your hands up to the people and show the people.
Right. You do that to your fans. You do that to your coach. Like, the other player.
I mean, and see, it only takes that one person to mess it up for everything. You know, like now, how you can't do this throat slash gesture. And back in the day when they would slam dunk and they would kind of swing on the rim, but then you can't swing on the rim. It's a tech. So now who's to say that what she did may have them saying from now on, you can't do this, and they're going to call it the Angel Reese rule. Right.
And y'all need to bookmark this, because this is a very real possibility. Denise says no, and it was cleared up with both parties, Caitlin and Angel. I want to give an early shout out to Caitlin Clark, because she handled this like a true boss. She didn't fan any flames. She didn't play victim. She wouldn't allow her people to make her a weakling. She says, hey, I pop stuff too. We knew going into the tournament, regardless of the teams, there was going to be some S talking. But for Angel Reese, if that would have been South Carolina, you did that too, that girl might have turned around and bumped you chest to chest.
Now, White Iverson did come out there and straighten things out. What they say, the daughter of Larry Bird, Larry Bird's little girl.
Right.
She did come out and say, because that is part of the game. And I do like to see that.
Right. Because, I mean, even in non-televised games, I mean, me and my brother Damien, we grew up with a basketball in our backyard. We played back there every single day, and it got competitive and it got heated. Do you think we were quoting Bible verses to each other back there?
No.
We were talking you know what.
And one of my friends, I talked to my friend Mike, shouts out to Mike Wood, talked to him this morning, and we were joking about the conversation that you, Mike, and I were having about the Jordans.
Okay.
And how I always like defend Jordan, even though I wasn't a Jordan fan. And he was like, yeah, you a Pistons fan. Now, come on. Now, y'all know me being a Pistons fan, I'm all for anybody getting hit in the mouth.
Right.
I'm all for it.
Right.
But I just think, I mean, again, I didn't have a problem with it. It was just.
I didn't have a problem with Caitlin Clark doing it against Louisville.
Right. I didn't have a problem with it. But it's like when sometimes you tend to take stuff too far.
Angel did. She went a little too far. I think she was looking for a fight that Caitlin wouldn't give her, and the cameras, the eye in the sky catch everything now. So in that regard, I would have liked to hear her say, and she did to an extent say, hey, I know she defended herself and her people and how she's perceived and judged, but I would also love to hear, hey, Caitlin, you know how it is when we're on the court. All fair and love in basketball, as Michigan Mike just said. I'm wishing you well next year. Hey, let's do it again next year in the tournament next year. I would have liked to see her like spin it out of the victim mode and go into more of a place of empowerment. Because calling on the Obamas, like, what are they gonna do? Leave them alone. They're gonna be fighting right now.
What's that mean when Michelle be dancing? Michelle was like,
right, Michelle, do her. Wait, you know, they look, Barack could be sleeping on the couch for all we know right now. You know, so don't drag them into this. They laying low. But But it was fascinating, and I think it was good for women's college basketball. My thing is, and I thought this was fascinating as we kind of transition. In all of that, nobody even cared or talked about the men's championship game that took place the next night, where UConn beat San Diego State and won their 5th title since 1999. They did so in record fashion, all their games by double digits. Now, Tasha.
Oh, wait a minute. Before you go there, shouts out to the AAC for playing Flau'jae Johnson's song when the confetti rained that down. They played her song.
All right, okay. All right, shouts out to the AAC. But Dallas, that's the only nice thing we're going to say about y'all. Y'all on this list. So, Mike, you hang in there. We got some questions about your basketball team. All right, but UConn. Now, we've grown up following plenty of blue blood programs as far as college basketball goes. Did UConn, with 5 since 99, did they put themselves in that fraternity of men's basketball blue bloods, in your opinion?
I mean, Duke got 5.
And they're stretched back before 1999. You know what I'm saying? They got 1 off us.
I mean, I always thought that UConn was an elite program because look at who they put in the NBA, or
right.
Look at how they played ball. Period. Like right. I watched the UConn, I watched the Huskies. You know, Rip Hamilton. Come on, Detroit.
Right. The crossover king.
Right. You got
Kimba.
Yeah, you got Kimball Walker. You got Shuttlesworth, aka Ray Allen. You had so many people to come out of UConn who were stars.
Right.
I think blue blood is just a term that is because you had people like Kentucky, you had Kansas.
Right.
Those were the traditional like top basketball programs. When you think of basketball, you think of those schools.
Right.
You think of a Duke for basketball. You think of a Carolina for basketball.
Right.
So I'm not going to necessarily say a blue blood, but I do say that UConn is an elite because those championships with those programs go back.
Right.
It's the term blue blood.
Look, that final championship game had a viewership of 5,000. Mike, stop that.
I watched it.
I watched it too. I watched it. But I mean, it was a decent game. I mean, it did lack star power, and the women's game did outdraw the men's.
The FAU San Diego State game was actually better. I know you were going to see a certain movie at the theater. I was watching the game, and that's what I told you to. I said, y'all missed a good game.
And when I went back and watched the highlights, I did miss a thriller because I was like, how in the world did they come back and win this game? Like, hey, 2 points hit that shot. Nothing is better than the tournament. But Mike does bring up a point that I want to ask you, Tasha. Going into next season, is women's college basketball going to be more interesting than the men's college game? You got Angel Reese coming back, Caitlin Clark coming back. You got Dawn Staley looking to avenge the death of their team when they were undefeated. You still got Gino up there in Connecticut. What do you think?
My thing is, half of y'all don't even watch the WNBA, and you don't watch women's basketball. So why y'all trying to put them out there now?
Because they caddy, and if they're gonna fight and fuss and get on Twitter, we with that.
But remember, I sent you and Mike a message. I said, why y'all ain't at the game? There's plenty of seats. That was South Carolina and Iowa, and you could hear a mouse piss on cotton in there.
Look, that's because South Carolina was all in the building and was getting that work.
But, I mean, people feign interest in the women's game. They do. Now, we know we can go to Knoxville. We can go on Rocky Top at any time and see a sold-out arena. We could, you look up there in stores what Gino is up there doing. You can see that building sold out. You can see South Carolina, the building full.
Right.
But on the bigger stage, people do not support women's basketball.
And there's one name in the men's ranks next year that's going to dominate the whole sport, and that's one Bronny James. Wherever he goes, that's where the cameras are going to follow, at least for a season. But I do think that, and Angel Clark made a comment about something that Mike posted last night in our group chat. She says, I'm making just as much money as the WNBA players. What I got to be in a rush to go to the WNBA for? Now, if they keep their stars, if they keep their Caitlin Clarks and their Bayou Barbies and Gino's able to keep his teams and Dawn Staley's able to keep her players, there could be a time to where we're just as interested in the women's championship games as we are the men's.
But and you think about it, she had only 70,000 followers. She's over 1 million since Sunday.
Dang. Now let's see what she does with that, because I saw an Instagram post of her and Job doing the gritty, and I was looking at her like, no, Angel, no.
That's wrong. That's wrong, dude. Right there.
No. He's chasing for clout right now. He ain't been on social media in a minute. You know what I mean? He had to shut down that account. No, not Ja. And I love Ja, but no, not Ja.
Now I'm going to say something that has been said before, and I don't think you ever went back and watched that documentary that I told you to watch.
Rolling over in her sleep.
On the women's national basketball team, of how with the majority of them being lesbians, how they wanted them to be more feminine so that they would get more sponsorship and more viewers. And I think that is benefiting Angel as well, because she is feminine.
Right.
She's a pretty girl. And as you know, as much as I support, y'all, I can't even talk today. As much as I support anybody who want to be anything they want to be, the bigger picture is a lot of people don't support that, because you have
all the sponsors don't support that.
Right. The sponsors don't want, as much as they try to make everything cookie cutter and say, okay, yeah, we're gonna throw somebody a bone out and make them think that we're supportive of this. Another conversation I was having with Mike this morning, not Michigan Mike, but my friend Mike, we were talking about Bel Air and how they made the Ashley character, she's gay. So, it's like now you have to check all the boxes.
Right.
When it comes to sponsorship. But like those women said in that documentary, that they were basically being forced to be more feminine because they knew that would get sponsorship. And I think that's helping her and other more feminine looking girls to get that NIL money, because you can have.
We have a perfect example right now in Candace Parker. She's one of the main figureheads on NBA on TNT, but when you see her, she's feminine. I know she just came out a couple of years ago that she has a girlfriend now, and she's married to a woman or whatnot. Yes. God bless her, and rice and cake for everybody. But she's not up there with the set it off cornrows. She's not up there with the husky pants in her shirt. You know what I'm saying? She's very she's palatable.
Right,
to a male audience.
Exactly, to a male, even though, and I remember when Candace posted the photos of her wife and everything, and all the men were like, damn, like the men were upset because they wanted to shoot their shot at Candace Parker.
They will still shoot their shot at Candace because she's fine. You
can probably still shoot your shot. She may block it, but you can still shoot your shot. But I think, like I said, I'm all for because I know a lot of masculine lesbians who I love to death. One of my friends that helps me around here, Rosie is masculine. I'm not saying you can't look the way you want to look, but as far as Madison Avenue, like I think that's benefiting Angel too, is because she is feminine.
But stay away from Ja. Stay away from Ja. He hot right now. Like that's not. I love me some Ja, but if that was my nephew, I'd pull him to the side and be like, "Hey, look. Keep you somebody in rotation because he gonna break your heart. Don't get caught up in his shenanigans right now. you riding a wave. Like don't do that. All right, now let's move on to the NBA since we're talking basketball. It's the last couple of days of the regular season, and then next week is the beloved play-in tournament. Now, those that know us here at the Extra Point, they know that three things are true. That we're going to tell the truth when we get in the booth, and that me and Tasha rarely agree on anything sports related other than Michigan. She's team Jordan and KD. I'm team LeBron. She's team San Francisco. I'm team Cowboys. I'm team Titans. She's team anybody who plays the damn Titans. like we don't agree on much. And if you can get a sneak peek at our private chats, Mike's gonna put us in counseling. By the way, we don't agree on nothing. And I'm afraid we got another one that we don't agree on, y'all. So let's see how this turns out. Tasha, let me look at you, Tasha. Tasha, why do you hate the play-in tournament? The people want to know.
It's the stupidest shit on earth. So I played my ass off the whole season to get into that last spot, only for y'all to say, hey, we got 2 more teams with a record, and I think they deserve a chance to get in here.
Oh, Tasha, I love it. But now I'm a gambling degenerate. Let me just put that out there. So from a gambling standpoint, I like the fact that more players are having to play late in the season because of they always resting their starters. If you don't have those extra 2 teams in there, can you imagine the level of basketball that we'll be watching? It's already unwatchable these last.
No, you want it because your team, especially this year, is on the edge of annihilation. They are in that last playoff.
No. Memphis is number 2.
I'm not. No, come on. Go on and get your little ragged crown out because you know good and damn well who I'm talking about.
Make sure y'all stick around next week to see who I pick between the Lakers and the Grizzlies in round 1. Get your popcorn ready. Oh, it's time for the king. He's making his return, Tasha.
And like you said, forcing these older, bad, weak-kneed players, you saw that game, that performance against the Clippers after the Lakers had that back-to-back.
Yeah, they look bad. And Phoenix rested their starters. Now, Kenny Man is a big Goat James fan. He said Goat James was going to make the play-in or the playoffs ever since the LA trade they got with a Westbrook. Okay, now look. I'll wait till next week to tell you who I'm going to pick. But Kenny, you're right. They got rid of Westbrook, which Tasha said they shouldn't have picked him up no way. And
I always said they should have taken Buddy Hield.
You're right. But the play-in tournament is great theater. We get another week of basketball, Tasha. Now, your uncle, Shannon Sharp, he called it the NIT of the NBA. I felt stupid when you said that. I was like, dang, that's cold-blooded. Nobody cared about the NIT tournament.
It is. It's stupid to, again, if I was that last team, the last 2 teams that played my hardest and deserved my spot, right. I would hate to get knocked out by a 10 seed.
Which could happen to the Lakers.
Right.
Like, okay, with that being the backdrop, let's go into T Sizzle's Crystal Ball. See, Tasha, you got him turning on it. Kenny, you're supposed to have my back on this. We talk about King James. King James and the NIT. Who would have thunk it? All right. So how this works is next Tuesday through Friday, we're going to do it's basically an elimination tournament to see who's the 7 and 8 seed. Where I agree with Tasha. If you're the 10 seed and the 7 seed finished 8 games above you in the standings, how can you win 2 games and knock their hard work out for the year? They got to fix that. But I do love the extra basketball again because I'm a gambling degenerate and it gives me something to gamble on. I gamble every day. Call my pastor. All right, so let's start in the East, Tasha. We got Miami as the number 7 seed, hosting ATL as the number 8 seed. Who gets the 7 seed in that game?
I'm going to go with Miami.
All right, so then Toronto, the number 9 seed, plays number 10 seed Chicago. Who passes the elimination?
Ooh, that's a tough one because that ball boy is out, ain't he?
Yes, he's out again.
Damn.
And they will be playing in Air Canada.
Oh, I may have to go with the Raptors on that one.
I agree with you on both. I got Miami and the Raptors. So for the 8th seed, we'll have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Toronto Raptors. Who do you got?
I'm just gonna take the Raptors because first of all, Trey Bay. I mean, not Trey. Oh, wrong Trey. The Parquet. Well, they made both Parquet. Well, the one that went to Oklahoma, he don't want to be there no more than them people want him there.
They don't. The people don't want him there. Gucci Mane don't want him there. Nobody wants him there. And the coach sure don't want him there. The coach gonna whoop his ass. He better chill. But and I like Nick Nurse. You got Siakam. You got Van Fleet. You got championship experience, and they're playing in Canada. I like for it to be Miami and Toronto as well. Now in the West, it gets a little more tricky because these are the standings as they are today. Now, it's a great chance it'll stay this way because everybody's going to rest their players today and tomorrow. But for it's and giggles, let's go. The 7th seed Lakers, Yo King. Is this your king? It's your king. Your king will be hosting the number 8 seed New Orleans Pelicans. Who you got?
I think. Oh,
Now, Pelicans have been balling lately, by
that's
the way.
what I was
Brandon
going to say.
Ingram,
New
he
Orleans.
loves to stick it back to the Lakers every time he gets a chance to play them.
I mean, you think at one point in the season, New Orleans was the top team in the West.
Yes, before Zion went down, they were.
Before King Creole.
They may be back for the playoffs if they get out of this play-in.
Oh, I'm gonna go with No.
Woo, Kenny. See, you saw Kenny holding his glasses. This is how I'm looking at her too. Like, okay, she's going to New Orleans. Okay, so that means the Lakers are still in it.
You know, I just don't trust if both LeBron and Street Clothes have to play too many back-to-back games.
You and Kenny's on the same wavelength. He said AD got to show up, man. And by show up, that means show up to the arena in a jersey, not in some Jabot jeans and some Crocs.
In my bag, edge bows. Come on.
All right, so we have the number 9 Minnesota Timberwolves versus number 10 OKC Thunder.
Damn, it shouldn't even be that hard because first of all, Minnesota should be some count. Again,
now, Karl Anthony Towns did miss 3 months. He's back now, and he's back being a big man and hit the threes. Rudy Gobert, they got Mike Conley. They got some pieces. Do you like them over OKC? Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a monster.
I'm rooting for OKC in this one.
Yeah, Minnesota just beat Minnesota, don't they? You didn't like the Minnesota football team. Well, of course you're going to pick OKC. All right.
When they was out there trying to row that damn boat.
So now we got the Lakers and OKC. Lakers getting this 8 seed. A home game against OKC.
I mean, they done lost at home before.
Damn, you got them losing 2 games next week and missing the playoffs.
I don't trust AD. Again, I know the Kang be hurt, but the Kang, even with a bum foot, he's still gonna produce and do what he needs to do to try to get his team in a better position to win.
Right, but y'all are scaring me because he's a bigger LeBron fan than me, and he's talking about OKC nice. I'm going OKC. OKC is nice. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they got the rookie Josh Giddey. They got some pieces. Those kids are young, and they get up and down that court. They could wear down a Lakers team in a 1-game format, but the Lakers are going to win one of those 2, right? The Lakers will be in the playoffs. Please, sweet baby Jesus, let the Lakers be in the playoffs.
All right.
Natasha and Mike, don't you go nowhere. You sit still, Mike. Let me flip this sheet. Because there's a team that we didn't mention in that play-in scenario. That was the Dallas Mavericks. Now, you know, a few weeks ago, they was the number 4 seed, right, before they picked up Kyrie Irving. And what happened last night needs an explanation from you, T Sizzle. I need you to make sense of this because I can't make sense of it. Dallas was a half a game back from OKC. All they needed to do was to win their last 2 games, last night against Chicago, and then Sunday against New Orleans, who's tanking for Victor Wembanyama. Okay, so that should be 2 victories. And you just needed Memphis to beat OKC, who's trying to fight off the Kings for the 3rd seed. So there was a very likely chance that you could have got in on the last day. They decided to pull their starters and lost the game, and now they're eliminated. Now, for context, for the people who have been following this, Dallas owes the the Knicks, a top 10 protected pick, which means if they finish in the top 10 in the draft, the Mavs get to keep the pick. If that pick is 11 through 30, they have to give it to New York. Tasha, even if you keep the pick, who's the 10th best player in the draft? Is he a game changer to you? Did you see the tournament? Who the hell out there said? What's going on in Dallas? Tasha, help me with this.
First of all, Mark Cuban needs to get up off what is it, the Goldfish show? What is it?
Oh, Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. He needs to start paying a little bit more attention to his team.
Yes.
Their organization from the top is something going on.
Yes.
And then secondly, I have to put a lot of that on Luka. As much as I like Luka, and I really think Luka can ball, Luka plays no defense. If you look at the majority of the NBA teams, you look at their star player on that team. That player, what the girls used to say, D up, D up, D up. You know, They play some kind of defense.
Right.
Luka
or
don't.
As you say, their defense is some count.
Right, their defense is some count. Well, the Mavericks defense ain't no count.
Can't count it.
So
can't count it. Or count on it.
Right. I mean, as much as I was not praying for anything, because I'm all, even though I speak the truth, I'm never wishing ill upon anybody.
That's true.
So I was thinking maybe Kyrie would get there and go KK on him, but he hasn't.
He has not been the problem, and I'm glad that you said that, because on the local radio they've been pushing back against the national narrative. Again, another word that she educated you on earlier. What that means. The narrative that it's Kyrie's fault because Kyrie has been such a cancer, quote unquote, in other locker rooms. But this hasn't been about Kyrie. He's kept his head down, averaging 26 points a game, leading the team in fourth quarter points, hadn't been on the microphone saying anything slick, hadn't seen him around town at all. Nobody's seen Kyrie around town around here. He's just going to practice, going home, showing up to the games. But Luka, bruh. Now, we done already forgave you, bruh, for the Kristaps Porzingis. Remember they brought over Porzingis and they couldn't get along. So okay, then you get Jalen Brunson. You don't pay Jalen Brunson, you let him walk out the door for that. And then you trade for Kyrie, and you ain't got no better. Now, you the leader of this team, ain't you, Luka?
I mean, I look at it. Dallas is almost like Houston when they had what's his name? James Harden. James Harden don't play no D. So why would you think Houston was going to do anything when your star player, who everybody's looking up to, who supposed to be the leader of your team, ain't even back there playing defense?
And it shows up mostly in the playoffs, because the playoffs is where the defense shines. It wins championships. As your Pistons, who had not nearly the talent of the teams that they beat those 2 years. From a shooting standpoint, nobody could score on them. And that was 1 through 5. Shouts out to the bad boy Pistons. If you're Kyrie Irving, you're a free agent now. The season is basically over. Are you going to sign? Are you going to resign? And shouts out to Justin Harden. We haven't seen you since football season, Big J. Shouts out, Kelsey. Oh, Justin in the house.
I don't know. I mean, Kyrie maybe has found his fit somewhere that's keeping him calm. I mean, he's already won. So I don't know.
He said he wants to pay the man.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know what Kyrie's end game is. What is Kyrie in it for? But whatever's going on in Dallas, I like it. It's keeping him calm.
Right. And or he may just be being calm like Jaws being calm now, because he saw that money flying out the window. When Nike cut their shoe deal loose, you might have to take Cuban's money.
Right.
Rather than go play for a veteran's minimum to try to get on Golden State or the Lakers.
Shaq shoes and them and-ones.
Stop with the and-ones. Them Shaq shoes. Them hanging on the rim on the hill. Damn, Tasha. I hate Jordans. All right. Okay, so Kyrie will know in just a little bit what he's thinking, because you can't get the most money with Dallas. The city has embraced him. He's played well. It seems like he can play okay with Luka, although they had a losing record. But I think that's more Luka being a crybaby, like Mike said, pouting, not playing defense, being a coach killer. You're about to get your second coach fired under your reign.
And being pudgy, being the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Being a little robust.
Ask Zion how that works out for you.
Right. And you won't stay healthy. You won't stay. And the thing is, if your leader is not leading, the team is going to run amok. That's in corporate America. That's in life. That's in home. If the mom and the daddy running amok, they ain't never home. Why the kids going to be home? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no curfew. Why not? Because my mom ain't home. I don't know. She ain't going to know I ain't there. I digress. All right. Let's say you are Luka. You got to be getting fed up with this. How many years he been there now? They going backwards. They getting worse and worse. How long before Luka says, no, I'm out of here?
It's always going to be a place for someone with Luka's talent. But
any team probably other than Memphis.
Right. Luka could go, but the best situation for Luka I don't know if he's about the money too, but if he actually wants to win, he needs to go to a team that already has a solid defense there, because he ain't gonna play it. He's basically told us, I'm not gonna do this.
Right. Put your mama on the phone.
Look it. I ain't never coming home no more.
Right. I ain't playing no defense. Y'all want this 30, 12, and 10 or not?
But y'all want me to have 6 blocks. What y'all want?
So how many more years do you give Mark Cuban before you say, get me the hell out of here? Because nobody wants to come play in Dallas. Kyrie was traded there. He didn't pick Dallas on his own.
I mean, Mark is usually one I can't say he's one of the loyal owners.
Yes, he is. That's what baffles me about free agents don't want to sign here. Beautiful weather, no state tax.
Again, it's why I tell you, it's something going on in that organization. And I've said this before, that we don't know. It's something going on as to why you have a billionaire owner who will open up his wallet, who will give you anything. You can have the key to the
protesting games, fight for his team.
Right. So why folk y'all ain't wanting to come down here?
Right. You visit Texas once a year at least. That's not a bad place for an NBA player to live in this city.
Oh no.
Like, Memphis is getting free agents. Have you ever noticed?
Memphis.
Now look, Memphis people, I love y'all, but I'm telling the truth here. Tasha, you know how they do those aerial shots as they come in and out of those NBA games of the downtown arena area? Have you seen Memphis when they show it?
It's right inside.
The buildings look about this tall.
Only thing you see is the front entrance and the inside of the FedEx Arena.
Right. They try to zoom it in as close as they can to the FedEx Forum, and they still get players to sign. So, like Dallas, it's not even a competition. No state tax, great housing. You're not even under the most pressure to win. That's the Cowboys. Anything you do is gravy. Like, I don't get it. So Luka's out of there. I'm just gonna put it out here right now. Give Luka one more season of this. He's out. He's gonna go somewhere, like you said, that plays defense. He might go to the East Coast so he can win. Now, I do agree with this, Tasha. Let me post this real quick. They need to move them Grizzlies to Nashville. That's what they need to do.
No, because they are already kicking out all the black people out of the.
You know what? You're right. You're right on that.
That's too many to bring in there. Because if the Grizzlies was in there and Ja acting like that, we'll never know what the city of Nashville would do.
Right, Ja never get off suspension living in Nashville downtown. Right. You're right. Good point by you. Now, let me ask you this. Who's under more pressure? And we're going to get into this deep dive next week because the playoffs start next Saturday, and we will be your official home on the playoff preview right here at TEP. But who's under more pressure to win a title this year? Both of them are already made men. KD or LeBron?
Damn, was this on the sheet?
No, but that just made me think about it when we start talking king things, you know?
I'm more inclined to say LeBron.
Okay, LeBron.
I think ever since they won that championship in the bubble and
nobody counts that. They call it the Mickey Mouse chip.
Right. No one really counts that. I think LeBron still has kind of a chip on his shoulder to say, hey, I got rid of the people that I didn't want to play with no more.
Right.
And I got some people in here who's supposed to be able to ball, and I think I can still do this.
Now, y'all, I want y'all to lean in because you won't hear this often when it comes to NBA talk. I agree with Tasha. I agree with Tasha. It's King James by a landslide because 2 reasons. One, because KD has a lot more left in the tank as far as playing career than LeBron. Number 2, if LeBron has any chance to make any other statement whatsoever regarding the GOAT debate, you got to do it now. You got to get one more chip. You really do. because I thought being the leading scorer, all-time scorer, would push you over the top. It hasn't. It hasn't changed anybody's mind that was pro Jordan. You got to get to 5 with Kobe. You got to get to 5 with Duncan.
I mean,
you got to.
You look at you say, okay, the scoring champion. I think the only reason why it was celebrated is because it was LeBron. Had anyone else broke that record, I don't think anybody would have cared, because Cap has had that record for decades.
Right. No, literally. It was 39 years. It was pushing 4 decades.
And we think about Cap, we think about the Skyhook in the 80s, the Late Show. That's what we think about. I think that was a personal goal for him. But I don't think, like you said, I don't think that moved the needle.
It didn't. And it was to my chagrin and to my surprise, because I was fired up for that to change the narrative, and it didn't. I like this being the narrative show today. I'm feeling the narrative thing. But it didn't. I'm going to just be honest. It didn't change it, just like it didn't change people's mind about Barry Sanders being better than Emmett when he went on to break the Russian title from Sweetness. Nobody cared. They was like, I'll still take Barry.
Right.
Emmett.
Right, because Barry is greatness. No one, when you talk about the running backs, Barry Sanders' name is always in there, and he never won a damn thing. The best thing he had in Detroit was them Honolulu blue uniforms on Thanksgiving.
Dopeness personified, and the Thanksgiving games where he would, he would captivate us with the spin moves and all of that stuff.
I mean, he didn't have any commercials. He wasn't doing starter. He wasn't doing the starter commercials. He wasn't doing none of that.
Now, Mike said it's the eye test. If you got eyes, you saw how Barry got down. Barry just better. Look at Mike with the TTA. All right, with the TTA. You ain't at work. Where you at?
You hanging around us too much, Mike.
You're right. We sorry, Mike. We sorry, Stacy. With the TTA. But that's true. As a Cowboys fan, you got to eat that L. Because if Barry Sanders was on the 90s team, Cowboys team, they would have been like the U. They would have won 5 championships, and you know that. He was way better than Emmitt Smith. All right. So with that being said, I've enjoyed this conversation today. Some good grown-up basketball talk. Tasha, can we send the people out with a nice shout-out? And I'm going to back out here and give the floor to you, because I know you had something to get off.
You want me to do my top 5?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it was just on my mind. No, before that, correction, we got T Sizzle's top 5 women hoopers of all time, because we wanted to put a nice little bow on the women's game since they had such a resounding week in the news. We're going to give them all some flowers the T Sizzle way. T Sizzle, take it away.
Now I have to think, because, I didn't write this down. I got Cheryl Swoops.
No, yes.
I got Cheryl Miller.
Yes.
I got Candace.
Yes.
I got Diana Taurasi.
Don't sleep on Diana.
And the 5th one, I don't know.
I got a 5th one for you.
Who?
What about Miss Lobo? Miss Rebecca?
I don't want to get too many UConn players that.
I got another one for you. Shaniqua Holdsclaw.
I mean, that's biased. I'm being really biased, guys, with this, but Shamiqua Holdsclaw was the ish when she was in college.
She was. And Pat Summitt could not be touched while she had the pullback braids.
While she had the Meeks, she had Samika Randall, Shamiqua Holdsclaw, and what was the other girl? I can't think of her name.
I think it was Allen Houston that was playing on that team. I think. They had some dudes on that team. They were just too good. Don't leave. Where you going? Bella, come get your mama. All right, so that's a great top 5. At least you had Candace in there, because I was going to throw something at the screen if you didn't.
Candace going to always be in there, baby.
All right, because Candace, she did work at the collegiate, the pro, and the international level.
And then her hating ass WNBA sisters going to say she was the most overrated.
You know why? Because they didn't like the fact that she was sneaking around with that woman when all of them was out of the closet. Don't be like that.
No, they was jealous.
Right. Don't throw no salt on her. She's beautiful, and she can still get the baloney pony. We'll edit that out of the YouTube clip. All right. Now, Tasha, who we shouting out this week?
Okay, I have 3 shout-outs. I have one shout-out to the Black expats of the DR. Y'all know, I smoke weed. I'm probably going to smoke weed.
That just caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
But last night, I got my first pen. And it was funny because y'all know I just smoke regular dope, regular weed.
Right, don't say dope because older
Yeah, I
people
forgot.
like
Dope is heroin and
right.
girl and boy. So
you on that New Orleans.
So I got my first vape pen, guys, and they had to show me how to use the pen so that I can give me some, because really it is illegal down here. They really kind of turn a blind eye to it, but I ain't trying to get hemmed up down here.
Right.
So if anybody want to send me some cartridges, you can do that.
Right, you can send it to 444 Alameda Drive. Look, Mike sending a shout out to Tasha. Happy birthday with the cake.
Y'all see it. This is my Aries bracelet. You see it.
All right. Now, I do have a shout out I want to squeeze in because our sponsor just shout out to Jeffrey Simmons. Got his money.
Clanger.
4 years, $94 million, $66 million of it guaranteed, $24 million in a signing bonus. Yes, I knew that without looking on anything because I'm a Titans fan. Damn it. Sorry, Denise. I forgot that. Clanger. We finna be right back in the playoffs with Big Jeff. Y'all know I was worried about that because we was looking kind of broke, and I owe you an apology because I called us broke in the chat the other day, and we was holding our money back to pay our best player, Big Jeff. Shouts out to the Titans. Shouts out to Big Jeff. Tasha, the floor is back yours.
And my second shout out is to my neighbor. I think you guys saw him on the show one time, Marino, who, if y'all see the little dog CJ, I'm going to hit you. The little dog CJ that I have sometimes on my Instagram stories, that's my neighbor's dog. I left, birthday, you get old. No, they not.
Go ahead, Tasha, go ahead.
Birthdays come around, you get old. Your girl left her whole wallet in the supermercado.
What's the supermercado?
The grocery store.
Oh, the supermercado. Oh, okay, got you. Okay.
Left it in Humbo to the expats, the jumbo, or to people who just don't pronounce the J right, the jumbo. And I did not notice it until late last night. But as soon as I called my neighbor who was asleep with his lovely girlfriend, and they both got up.
Put him on blast. He can have more than one.
He met me at the entrance because where I was at the beach is across the street. So I came out and he met me at the entrance. We drove to the store and he got my wallet for me. So I call him Manito, which is really hermano or hermanito, but Manito in Dominican Spanish. He's my little brother. So shouts out to my Manito for helping me. Now, the last shout out goes to people who are very, very, very close to us.
Yes.
Paul's Baby Cakes, My Trees, and one of our contributors to the show on occasion, Mr. Wayne Coupe DeVille.
Yes.
They lost their cousin Rusty, who was a Northwest Nashville staple. He was a star basketball player and the quarterback of the football team at Pearl Cone. Rusty lost his life. I don't know if it was, could have been due to a battle with cancer. I'll just say that.
So after a hard-fought battle.
Right. So we like to send up special prayers because that is a very, very, very close-knit family. And people, if you're watching this who are from that area, you guys know how they were cousins, but they were all like brothers and sisters.
And by extension, our family as well.
Right. So shouts out to the Marilyn Smith family as they funeralize their cousin. We call him Rusty, Robert Smith today.
And the funeral services are today. I believe the viewing is in an hour. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. Hopefully you can come home tonight and watch the show and kind of laugh with us to kind of get your mind off things. We are with you in spirit. Cyber hugs to each and every one of you all. You all have supported the show. You've supported us in everything that we've done. And just like in the comments, RIP Rusty. He meant a lot to a lot of people. The guy always had a smile on his face. I've never met anybody that popular, to be quite honest.
I mean, Rusty was.
I've never met anyone that popular. So shout out to Mr. Matthews with his RIP. Dang, Damon, you ain't aged a bit. You on that salsa water?
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that because he already.
That's why salsa looks so young. Okay.
He already think he's fat.
The thing is, yummy. Beautiful, beautiful Sasha.
All y'all that don't know, that's my baby daddy.
Hold on, stop that. That's Sasha's father. She said that's my dad. She's proud. Look at Hold on, Tasha. One more for you. Wait a minute. Hold on. She wants to set you straight.
He already think he fine.
Oh, hey, but he sending shouts out to his beautiful daughter, Sasha.
And she does.
Right. That's what's up. But it's good to see. I haven't seen his face in a long time. Man, he's still looking like the Pearl days. I see y'all.
He went to White's Creek.
When we were at Pearl, Tasha.
I met him after.
You stop that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me put this out here for all of the watchers. Okay. Sasha play a matchmaker.
Now I'm gonna tell y'all this.
No. You're not gonna tell us nothing.
No, that's my baby daddy, so no chicken heads need apply because my daughter ain't going for it.
Now that is true. Have your mouth game together when you come up to holler, because this daughter don't play no games like that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, our heartfelt condolences to the Hastings, Smith, Maryland family. Our thank you to our lovely sponsor, Ms. Denise. Denise, thank you for everybody who checked in. Michigan Mike, who is at work. You're right. Get back to work, Mike. She is not. Shouts out to Mr. Matthews, everybody checking in. Y'all, the playoffs start next Saturday. Will the Lakers be in? Do they play the Grizzlies? And if they do, who am I going to pick between my two favorite players in the world, Ja and the King? We're going to get back with y'all in about 6 days and 23 hours. Until then, love, peace, and
happy Resurrection Sunday.
On that third day,
Semana Santa in República Dominicana.
Right, and Mercado and Super Mercado to you too, y'all. Have a good one.
Y'all two sabes on tu conversation.
Y'all two sabes. Okay, I'm trying to find the end button here, Tasha. So while we end this thing, all right, we going for it now. Peace.